Hi there, I am Aman and you're watching PTO classes. So, in this video, we are going to go ahead with the second chapter of your grammar, that is sentence, phrases, and clauses. In the previous video, we have already done the sentences, and in this video, we are going to see the phrases. So, this is the second video of second chapter. We will cover the phrases in this part of your chapter, and we will do the exercise on phrases. So let's start. So phrases, our second video is based on the second topic of the chapter, that is. So what is a phrase? What are phrases? Phrases are groups of words that act as a part of a speech but cannot stand alone as sentences. So, see the definition. Phrases are groups of words. Like sentences, phrases are also groups of words that act as a part of a speech. So, what are the part of a speech? We have already done. There are 9 parts of a speech. So, basically, the 8 parts of a speech are there. Ninth one is the determiners. But in that 8 also, the 3 important parts of a speech: noun, adverb, and adjective. These kinds of parts of a speech are used in phrases. So phrases are group of words that act as a part of a speech but cannot stand alone as sentences. These are group of words that can be used as a part of speech but cannot be called sentences. Why so? Because they make sense but not complete sense. So they are making sense but not complete sense. What are sentences? Sentences are group of words which make complete sense, but phrases are group of words that act as a part of a speech but they don't make complete sense. They make sense but they don't make complete sense. So phrases act as noun, adjectives, and adverbs. See, for example, in the east, at the station, of my class, which is costly. So see, these group of words, they are making some sense but not complete sense. Which is costly, so it is a kind of what? Adjective phrase. See, it is telling some quality about a particular thing which is costly. So it is a group of words that is making some sense and is using the part of speech but is not a complete sentence. At the station, so it is the noun phrase. It is telling us about a place but it is not telling us completely about that place. It is making some sense but not complete sense. So phrases also has its kinds. Let's see what are those. So kinds of phrases are prepositional phrases and verbal phrases. What are those? Prepositional phrases and verbal phrases. So let's see first the prepositional phrases. Prepositional phrases are the phrases which begin with prepositions and end with nouns or pronouns. So whenever a phrase is starting with a preposition and ending with nouns or pronouns, they are called prepositional phrases. The noun or pronoun is known as the object of the preposition. So we put the object mostly at the last of our sentence or group of words. So the noun or pronoun is the object of the preposition. See, most prepositional phrases act as adjectives or adverbs. Nouns are used there, but these act as adjectives or adverbs. See the first example, the cup. Here the preposition the is used. The cup with the broken handle is also very useful. So it is the adjective phrase. So how can you say that it is the adjective phrase? Because here the preposition, I said the, sorry, it is the article. Here see, the preposition with is used with the broken handle. So here we are getting to know that what kind of cup we have. the cup with the broken handle. So with the broken handle can stand alone as a phrase. With the broken handle can stand alone as a phrase, and it is adjective because it is defining the cup. Suppose if it is written with the broken handle, so it is making sense that something is with the broken handle, but we are not sure that what is that something. So it is acting as an adjective phrase. So let's see the second example. We attended a concert at the park. So it is the adverb phrase. How so? Here see, the preposition at is used, and here we are uh, we are attending a concert at the park. So here adverb, what is the work of the adverb? It defines the verb, the action. So here the work of adverb is being done, and here we are using at the park. So at the end a noun is there, park is a place, and it is working as an adverb. That we attended a concert, and where it is, we attended the concert, we attended the concert at the park. So here adverb is used, so it is the adverb phrase. So now see the second kind of phrases, that are the verbal phrases. So what are verbal phrases? Verbal phrases have no finite verbs, but they do the work of nouns, adjectives or adverbs in the sentences with the help of non-finite verbs, that is infinitive, gerund and participle. So see, first of all, I think you all are aware with finite and non-finite verbs. Finite verbs are the verbs that are governed by the person and number of the subject, and that are called the finite verbs. So the verbs that are basically having the person or number that tells us about the tense. A finite verb has the subject, it shows the tense and agrees with the subject. For example, Amit reads a novel. So here the verb reads is there, and it is finite verb because it is telling us about the tense, that Amit reads a novel. So it is telling us about the tense that is used in the sentence. But in the case of non-finite verbs, we don't know about the tense. So they are the general verbs that don't really tell us about the tense. See, infinitive, gerund and participle. I will tell you that what are these phrases. So verbal phrases has its three kinds, that is infinitive, gerund and participle. So what is infinitive phrases? The infinitive phrases are verbal phrases that begin with the infinitive to. You can include any final adverb as a part of the phrase. Example, the girl want to play. See here, the girl want to play. Here we have not used wants. So here we don't know the exact tense. The girl want to play. See, whenever the word to is used, it will always be the infinitive phrase. Wherever the word to is used, to read, to play, to sing, it is always the infinitive phrase. For example, it is written to eat, so it will be the infinitive phrase. Gerund phrases, it is also a kind of phrase that are the group of words which are using the ing words. So these are the verbs which use the ing words, the phrases that are using the ing verb. See, but not acting as the verbal phrases within the sentences. In fact, a gerund phrase acts as a noun possessed by another noun or pronoun. So a gerund phrase acts like a noun, so it will always be noun. You will be confused between participle and gerund phrases. The difference is that both first, the similarity is both are ing words. See the example, scolding every time. It is a phrase because it is making sense, scolding every time, but it is not making the complete sense. So it is a gerund phrase because scolding every time made him away from his child. So it is acting as a noun because we can replace it with a pronoun. See, it made him away from his child. You can say it made him away from his child. What? Scolding every time made him away from his child. So the words that can be replaced by pronoun are noun and therefore are the gerund phrases. The phrases which are using the ing words are the gerund phrases. And how it is different from participle? See, the participle phrases are group of words which begin with participles are called participle phrases. You know what are participles? The present participle, the past participle, the words reading, or the past participle, the three forms of the verb basically. The first form of the verb is, for example, take reading, take the verb read. The first form is the V1 is read, the V2, the past form is also is read, and the third form, the past participle form, is read. In case of write, see, write's first form is write, second form is wrote, and third form is written. That is the past participle form. And the see, the words which are using ing verbs are the participle phrases, but these are different from the gerund phrases in a way that the gerund phrases act as a noun, but the participle phrases act as the adjectives or adverbs. See, a running deer was shot. Here the quality of the deer is defined that he was a running deer. So here the ing verb running is used, but it is used in the form of an adjective. So it is participle phrase. A running deer was shot. So here the running word is the adjective and it is the ing word. The first three words are the phrases a running deer. It is making some sense but not complete sense. You can ask what happened to the running deer. So it is a phrase because it is making some sense but not complete sense, and it is a phrase, it is a participle phrase because it is in the ing form, and it is participle and not gerund because it is used as an adjective and not as a noun. In the first example we have seen that scolding every time made him away from his child. So it was a noun because it is not telling any quality, but it is a noun because it can be replaced by a pronoun. Scolding every time made him away from his child. So you can put it in place of scolding every time. It made him away from his child. So a pronoun can replace the first part. So it is a noun and therefore it is a gerund phrase. I am sure that you are now aware with gerund phrases and participle phrases. If you have any confusion, you can ask. I am again repeating it that gerund phrases are the ing words that come in the sentence, but they are always they always act as noun, whereas the participle phrases are the group of words that are a part of, that can be a part of a sentence, but they don't make complete sense and they are in ing form. They have a verb which is in ing form, but that act as an adjective or as an adverb. And whereas the infinitive verb, wherever the word to is used, then it is the infinitive phrases. And the first kind of phrases, the prepositional phrases, wherever a preposition is used, like at the park, on the wall, in the garden, at the zoo, with the broken handle. So all these are prepositional phrases. So the group of words that make some sense but not complete sense are called phrases. Which is costly, of my class, at the station. All these are a group of words that make some sense but they don't make complete sense, and I have already told you the kinds of phrases. So if you have any queries, you can ask, you feel free to ask. And now I'm going to tell you about the exercise that you have to do. You have to do the exercise C from your book, and in that exercise you have to underline the phrases in the sentences. The first one I am telling you, the first one is, we enjoyed the picnic on the banks of the river. So what are the phrases in the sentence? See, there are two prepositional phrases. On the banks, so on is a phrase, on is a preposition. So on the banks, you will mark on the banks in your sentence. Then of the river, it is also a preposition, so you will mark of the river. Second, and so on you will do on your own. So first one, I have already told you that we enjoyed the picnic on the banks of the river. You have to mark the phrase in it, and we have used two prepositional phrases because the two prepositions are used there, so you will mark both the phrases. Okay, so I hope you have understood the chapter's second part, that is phrases. In the second video, in the next video, I am going to discuss clauses. I have separated the three parts of the chapter because it gets very confusing if you take them together. So in the next part, I am going to explain you clause, which is more confusing, and I will try to explain it to you in a better way, and hope you will understand that also. So we will do the other exercises and the explanation of conjunction, of clauses in the next part of the video. Till then, complete the exercise C and note down all the definitions that are in the slides in your grammar notebook. So thank you so much for watching the video. Please do like and subscribe to the channel.